Hello and welcome to Armed with Controllers. It's Fabs here, and today I'm back on the Dynasty Warriors 7 Empires. So, when we last left my intrepid band of crazy outlaws, they'd just taken over another sovereign nation. A lot's happened since then. For example, Zhuge here, he's become emperor. You know, screw the mandate from heaven, I'm taking charge now. Which makes sense. So, yeah, everything the blue light touches is my kingdom, Simba. And today I'm going to exercise my foreign policy on the small kingdom controlled by Sensei. It's a shame really, because I do like Sensei, but he's in my way. And he did annoy me a little when I was, just a struggling warlord before I received the mandate from heaven. So, I'm going to be playing as Zhuge Liang this time. Why? Because he's awesome. That's pretty much all the reason you need to play as somebody, I think. So let's get the army sorted. Okay, it appears that despite my fairly awesome custom characters, the pre-made the actual characters from the game seem to have a higher troop selection, and they want to flatten this little one-horse town under my heel so that all my opponents will know not to mess with me. So yeah, got all the big guys here, Zheng He, Zhao Yun, Zhou Yu, get in. Okay, so let's just sort out my stratagems, which makes sense considering Zhuge Liang being the demon strategist with his crazy powers. His fan that shoots laser beams. I wish I had one of those, because let's face it, who hasn't found themselves, on the underground or something, someone's decided to stand on the left hand side of the escalator and you think, no, you are not worthy of existing in the same level as me, I must remove you now, and then firing a beam out at them. So yeah, these games are actually quite good for working out my many angers of the modern world, as it were. So, okay, let's go then. Zhuge Liang, amusing character. One of the many ways in which they get non-combat personnel from the era to fight in these games is usually by giving them crazy powers. You can see things like, say, Ishida Mitsunari in Samurai Warriors 2. Another strategist fan wielder has crazy wind powers, if I remember correctly. And Zhuge Liang, yeah, he too has this same ability to attack from afar, which is good because if I remember correctly, in Dynasty Warriors 3, he did attack with a fan still, but he had to be right next to people, which really limited his effectiveness because these fans that he was wielding then, far smaller than the massive one here, and they didn't fire laser beams either. At least not the traditional attack. I mean, one of the great things about using fan wielding characters has always been the laser beams. I mean, granted, I've always been more of a fan of Tsuma Yi, if only because he's so nakedly evil, and well, in particular in Dynasty Warriors 6, he got the crazy finger whip things going on. Sadly, they got rid of those for him in 7, but I have it on good authority that in Dynasty Warriors 8, not very soon, his wife uses them. So there we go. No staying in the kitchen for her because she's going to whip you. So I'm just casually taking on 5 bazillion officers here in this crazy base. It also has cannon firing arrows in my backside. Maybe a tactical error. But then again, when you do that this awesome, who needs tactics? Then again, they said that about Lu Bu, and he ended up dying like a dog. Poor bastard. Okay, so you will notice I am using the charge 3 attack a hell of a lot. There is a reason for this, because it's just that good. Enemies very rarely seem to block the second hit, which means I get carte blanche to juggle them a bit. And you can't argue with that really, particularly when you've got this crazy wind firing fan. Ah well. So, good old Zhuge Liang. What can one say about him? If we're to believe these stories, which we don't, he was a crazy powerful sorcerer at times. I mean, this depiction of him in these games is drawn largely from folk tales and other such colloquial tellings of his many exploits from say, a few centuries after the Three Kingdoms era, and as well during the Ming Dynasty when Romance of the Three Kingdoms was first written. He was always portrayed as a bit of a trickster in some regards, out and out Taoist superpowers, that kind of thing. If you compare that though to the novel, he doesn't really display any kind of supernatural abilities. The closest is him summoning the Eastern Winds during the Battle of Chibu. So they've obviously played him up a tiny bit in this game because, let's face it, being a strategist, it would basically mean you sit back, tell people to go somewhere, and then get really pissed off when they die because they didn't do it correctly. Granted, but that never seemed to happen to Zhuge Liang. He's a bit of a Gary Stew at times because it seems like he can never do any wrong. Granted, it's quite funny seeing him completely dick over everybody in existence with his crazy strategies. But it's a bit wearing as well, because I quite liked Zhou Yu, not least because of his appearances in these games, but also because in the books he's a bit of a canny bastard himself, and it's quite fun to listen to. But the problem is, Zhuge Liang turns up and he's all, yep, just that awesome, effortlessly brilliant, which annoyingly means that poor old Zhou Yu, he's trying to do something, and what happens is very much a case of, oh yeah, Zhuge Liang's already done that. By the way, I've seen through every one of your plans as well. Enjoy dying in obscurity. I mean, come on, Zhou Yu actually dies effectively of a hissy fit. So angered was he by Zhuge Liang constantly outshining him. This is the kind of crazy stuff you had to work with in this. But of course, we do need to remember that the Three Kingdoms novel was written at a time when in China sympathies are at an all-time high with the Shu Kingdom, of which Zhuge Liang is affiliated. Okay, I'm just going to quickly use a delightful stratagem, which makes sense. Heals me up because I was close to dying there, and no one wants to die. Well, some people do, but that's another story. Anyway, so yeah, this novel was written at a time when Shu sympathies are at an all-time high. The old cult of Guan Yu, because he was deified as a god of war, why not? That was gaining ground and whatnot. And people tended to view the folk tales of the three brothers of Liu Bei, Zhang Fei and Guan Yu as pretty damn awesome. So yeah, they really pushed the Shu characters in general, which meant that unfortunately people like Zhou Yu got portrayed in a horribly bad light. Cao Cao, he got portrayed as a mustache-twirling villain. One needs only remember his line from the end of the second chapter. I'd rather betray the world than have the world betray me. So it is a bit unfortunate in that regard. But then again, we also need to look at one of the primary sources for Three Kingdoms knowledge in the world, the records of the Three Kingdoms, written by someone who actually lived through the entire era, which is pretty cool. That was written with a massively pro-Wei and then Jin bias because, well, they were the winners. You don't really want to say, yeah, but my boss, he was a bit of a dick, he screwed over these poor peasants and villagers and whatnot. So, yeah, that's a good way to get yourself decapitated, particularly in that era of China. So there we go. So, I've taken over a good few bases here. It's going quite swimmingly, just goes to show that this pokey-wee backwaters Hicksville can't handle the awesome power of the Emperor. Now you see, it does make me wonder, we say things like, say, the word the Empire, it has a naturally evil ring to it, doesn't it? I mean, yes, you think about Star Wars, what's your first thought? Oh, the Empire, you've got Darth Vader and all those evil people with their dark clothing and sinister helmets and whatnot. I mean, let's take this back for a second. What evils did the Empire commit on screen? You can make a case for the Death Star, certainly, although some might argue it was a preemptive strike against the rebels, considering the shit they were pulling. And, it was admittedly an overzealous show of force, but they had to show, look, you terrorists, we're not kidding around. You keep this up, we're going to blow you up. Got it? But no, because of an ancient sect of mad monks, we're left to believe that the terrorists were the good guys. Anyway, It's a bit weird that I just randomly start talking about Star Wars, during a game based in ancient China. Anyway, so what you just saw there was me taking advantage of the capture mechanic in this game. Because I was previously fighting a bunch of enemy soldiers in an area that on the map was deep blue, which is controlled by me. So what that means is, well, traditionally when you beat an officer, they run away swearing vengeance, only to return later on in the map. However, this time, because they were so deep in my territory, I got to kidnap them, which means that come the end of the battle, I can recruit them, I could release them to run free in the wild, or I can execute them if I feel particularly bloodthirsty. And let's face it, who doesn't feel bloodthirsty at some point? Exactly. So, just going to make this a completely total victory by capturing every base, so that poor old Sun Tzu there, he's gonna be kind of screwed over. Which is good. Show of force and all that. Zhuge Liang here is Song Jiang's Death Star. Right. So just taking care of business here. Yep. Another area has fallen under my thrall. Let's finish this, shall we? Yes, exactly, Hun Hao. Now is the time to attack. Okay, at the main enemy base. And what's this? Good old Zhou Yu. He set it on fire. Because, as well we know, fire is the cleanser. Fire makes everything better. But you know what makes it even better than that? Arrows falling from the skies. All according to Kekaku. Okay, so this is actually quite a nice wee combo or a strategy combo I've developed over this, because the fire, not only does it reduce the enemy's fighting effectiveness, but it puts a constant drain on their life. Now, if you've got arrows falling on their head as well, that's gonna hurt. Yes, thank you, Zhong He. Now, Zhong He, my favourite character in the Dynasty Warriors games. I don't know why. Something about the whole crazy, effeminate guy with belief in beauty. Those characters always amuse me in pretty much any game. I don't get this. It's a rather weird quirk of mine, I suppose. Anyway, so this place is on fire. The base is effectively dead now. Problem is, in order to win, I do need to kill Sun Tzu. So fair enough. He really has. He should be on his knees now, begging me for forgiveness. That he dared to exist in the same realm as me. Okay, one more hit. One more hit. Oh, okay, fine, show you. You kill him. Fine, it's alright. Ooh, and I've captured the Sun Tzu. Oh dear, I do love how the localization team just didn't give a care, did they? Oh well, excellent. So, another area bites the dust. Let's go with all these people I've kidnapped. Well, he's an idiot. Goodbye. How about you, good sir? Okay. You also wish to die. Right, Shangang, how about you? Yeah, you're refusing to? Okay. Oh god. Yes. I just earned the trophy for killing everyone. Brilliant. The executioner. That's what they'll call me. Okay, Sun Tzu. Oh, for God's sake, you are imbecilic, aren't you? Yeah. Bye-bye. That's annoying. I like Sun Tzu. I don't want to kill him. He is being stupid. Oh well. So, that's another area under my control. Soon we'll take on the religious fanatics in the south. So, join me next time when I put the boot to Zhang Jiao's face. Haha. As always, game hard. Good night.